Yo, how's everyone doing? Take two. Yeah, I made the previous video at least 30-minute long. There's just a lot to talk about, so I'll try to be quick and I'll try not to draw too much at the same time. Now, you guys know the silence, and I guess you guys know what I'm about to say. Again, it's the cycle kind of repeating itself, where eventually I kind of go cold, we could say, regards to a certain things, and I might as well explain it because it's been a couple of discovery at the same time, and that's kind of setting me back on the right path. Now, recently there's been like two things happening. One, when it comes to recording, it's going to be a tad bit more difficult because my hard drive is currently dying. I can feel the slowness oozing from it, and basically, again, 5 years of doing recording on the same hard drive. It thinking that partition would work, but partition doesn't work. So that's one thing. Now, second thing was mostly because of the financial situation. I had to double up on the freelancing aspect of things. So I found myself again in a rush to do quick work for people, quick low budget type of work for people, and that kind of brought a series of things at the same time. One of those things was just like last time, lack of time. So where does my skill go from there and on? But thankfully, with the whole pep talk and notes I took last time, it kind of helped me keep focused, saying that okay, well, look, I'm not that low tier. I just don't have that much time at this point because of these current debacle, and I do have a limit due to the budget, what I'm getting paid for when it comes to these work. So that's one thing. The second thing is the question of what I wanted to get out of my work just popped up again. And this is where things got interesting, or this is where things kind of pushed me towards the cold silence for a while. Now, I did not exactly know, like exactly know what got me hyped. I know what I can do, but I didn't exactly know what got me hyped. So at one point, I'm like, okay, I'm not feeling too good about my work. What do I want out of my work? And I started doing this kind of a checklist, a checkboard of the type of stuff that I like, and this type of stuff that I want. And throughout all this, okay, I was taking notes. I like Glenn Keane's form and figure. I like Alvin Lee's perspective and anatomy. I like Nona's rendering and blah blah blah. Like it kept going on, and at one point I'm like, wait, what, what am I doing with this? You know, like it just kind of all came to a point where I'm like, what am I doing? What am I doing with this? What's the point of this? Like, am I trying to imagine some kind of a super style? And I just kind of dropped that board and started just dropped everything and started meditating on it. Just laid on my bed and started going, okay, well, wait, look, I may like all these things, okay? Yet, where do I want to go? Who am I through this? And this kind of reflected back to this talk I had with business advisors where if I want to make my own brand, I have to consider who I am, or I have to know who I am, and that kind of opened up some interesting thoughts, especially with what I told you all regarding to high school, not being black, not being white, and blah blah blah. And at the point where I'm like, okay, well, what gets me psyched up about working? Um, and through that whole session, you know, through that whole period, I even had a good talk with my friend Pat from the Angry Mandy channel, where he kind of told me, and you know, I pressured him a bit to ask or to tell him, or for him to say what he had in mind. And at that point, he kind of told me, well, you know, before you used to do these big scenes, you know, your characters were within an environment, and recently, like years in recent years, you stopped that. So, what happened? And I'm like, wait, okay, well, I go back towards that time, and I look at some of the old pictures that I won't even bother bring up on DeviantArt because they're fucking old. Yet I kind of noticed at that point I was doing a decent use of all the fundamentals. So that was one aspect where I kind of pushed away because I was trying to focus on anatomy, and like the sub level of anatomy, going into bones and muscles, and then focusing a lot more on character and attitude. And then it kind of clicked. Wait, character, attitude, what the hell? So that came into play, and I started wondering, okay, well, what actually gets me hyped? And I started thinking about the times where, again, in the shower, sometimes I would revise, or think about some scenes from extra stage, future scenes that I wanted to add. And there were times where I would either lip sync or try to act out some of these scenes because I wanted to see how some characters would play against one another. And it just hit me. I fucking want to do animation. I again, like, why do I keep hammering that, but it's quite important. So what pushed me away from that? And this is where things got kind of bit interesting. Again, looking at uh, my reference board that I was making, I always fought and tried to tailor myself to the industry I wanted to work for at times. So comics, concept art, and blah blah blah. Which is why there's points where I will just go into deeper anatomy drawings with charcoal or try to do some kind of a painterly blob type of thing. Yet, in the end, I want to do animation. It all goes back to animation. Characters playing one off another, scenarios, camera angles, even with perspective. The camera angles I see in my head when I see scenes is, again, seeing an animation scene. So, like, the answer was quite obvious, and the things that really get me hype is hell, looking at animes like One Punch Man. Double thanks to the person that referred to that to me, or referred me to that in a convention like years ago. And I wish I took his advice at that point to check out the manga and not simply jump into the anime. But now that kind of prompts me to say, oh, you guys know me better than I do. Like another friend of mine, Stripes, he, like, looking back at some of the stuff that he told me, you people knew me better than I do, in a sense. Gaming, I fucking love video games. Games like Yakuza, games like Metal Gear Rising Revengeance that are pushing things to another boundary. I love that kind of hype. So hell, that's the type of shit I like. I mean, I'm already looking at some of the things I had planned for that mini animation. I think I showed you an animatic, or an animatic in progress. Well, this hype, it's all about hype, like pushing things to another boundary, anime and video games included. So, like, I finally dawned upon that answer. That's me. That's who I am. That's what I love to do. That's what gets me psyched up in the morning. And the things that kind of got me on the back burner because I was kind of getting hungry to do commissions. I went, um, I went to this, or I went into it with the wrong idea, thinking that I should tailor myself entirely to try and track down various clients. While in the end, I just need to push myself to the highest level of my own personal work. What I love about my work and what I want to accomplish with my work, thus animation. And this is where things just started clicking. Enough trying to do logos, enough trying to do all this random shit that I just don't literally like, and just go for characters, go for environments, go for scenes, try to get to bring these things out. And I can feel that this is going to bring a lot of things out of my work. Hell, even when it comes to thumbnailing, I get into that hype mode. I bring things to a whole other notch because when it comes to thumbnailings, you can do mistakes. And again, that refers back to not being afraid to do mistakes and not being afraid, point, um, as an extra aspect, but it all factors in. So making mistakes and just trying stuff, bring it to the hype level, bring it to the inspiration level that I have. This is why I really like Platinum Games as a studio, as a game, because they resonate with me in a sense, with what I like, with what I do. And I could find other examples, other studios, but that's it, that's all. So, finally, that answer out of the way, where do I go from there? Well, right now I'm working on a commission for someone, and it's a kind of a big sketch commission, but I got to do it traditionally, seeing that the printing shop is down for Christmas. At that point, if oh man, if only I had the thumbnails somewhere. You know what? I'll post the thumbnails on Instagram. M0KUU on Instagram. You'll find me. All right. Or you can check out the ROM HQ on Facebook. I'll post the thumbnails or the set of thumbnails I did. But again, when it came to that, how hype can I bring it? How hyper can I bring it? And that's where I'm heading with this specific picture. Right now, I'm just doing a bit of character, quote unquote, design because it's off an actual person and a fictional character, but blah blah blah. Just trying to get that whole thing in there. Okay, what does that tell me for channel wise? This is where things get a bit complex. One, hard drive. I will try to get things done with the hard drive at a certain point. Right now, I'm currently doing a lot of backups, but the main point when it comes to the hard drive situation is going to be what am I doing? The main point when it comes to the hard drive situation is going to be time. One, recording is going to be a bit more difficult. Seeing that this hard drive is dying, I wouldn't want it to crap on me out of nowhere. So you can kind of understand why I'm kind of slowing down on recording unless I find a good backup method, meaning maybe going towards a portable hard drive method of recording. Who knows, that could give me a couple of extra months. Then when it comes to the other situation, upload wise, you guys know I'm doing the best I can for Yakuza 5, okay? So if the current set of commissions go well and I get above a certain amount of budget in order to make sure that things are going well, then I will definitely make the purchase for Yakuza 5 and get into gear on that aspect. Let's play Yakuza 5. It's either 2015 at the end or at the start of 2016. So that's gonna happen. What happens to shut up and train? Well, at one point, I'm gonna shut up and animate that fucking intro. Getting sick and tired of things just coming in front of me and just blocking my path from finishing this. And funny enough, those things give me revenue, thus commissions. So I'll put it in the schedule to finish that intro, and then I can show you guys the morning training sessions I do when it comes to gesture drawing and that cool little site I'll leave a link to as soon as that comes out. What else? What else? What else? I think that's about it. I might try to stream some Bloodborne because why not? I still have a vendetta against that game, and if I want to relieve some stress, then who knows? That could be the best game, right? So we'll see. We'll definitely see. But there could be some Bloodborne streaming. Street Fighter 5 comes in February. I don't know if I'm gonna have the cash for joining in the beta, but it's gonna go at a lower priority than Yakuza. Alright. Also, if you guys were wondering, I do play Smash at my friend's place because he took his Wii U back. Or I gave him his Wii U back for my PS4. And I love Cloud. Cloud is awesome. I can't wait. I'm psyched up for Bayonetta. Loving it. OP confirmed. Tournament banned. Done. So, and I think Cloud might need to get a bit nerf. He's overall stupidly powerful, but he's got the same jump tier as Lil Mac. So stay off those edges, man. Stay off those edges. But yeah, I'm getting a tad bit more technical into Smash. That's weird. I might need to buy my DS version back. Wow. Yet when it comes to fighting games, again, I'm still mainly entrenched into Mortal Kombat. I might try to get a bit more entrenched into Skullgirls if I see that the online community is big. Then again, I gotta do this whole thing with a hard drive, so maybe I'm talking out of thin air. But kind of got to finally figured out what I want to do, what I want to focus on, and where that gets me. Now, this doesn't mean that Extra Stage is going to be canceled. Fuck no. Extra Stage is an animation on its own if you look at the way I've been drawing it and proceeding towards it. I love playing on actors, character, or acting, one character acting against or with another. And this is something I'm going to keep going until I finish Extra Stage. And of course, I have an end planned out, I have that whole thing planned out. The only thing I need is time. And when the budget is going to be better balanced, and that, all this factors in knowing what I want to do to give clients a maximum performance and being able to advertise myself off that maximum performance. Once all that comes into place, budget might not be that much of an issue. I'll be able to give out a lot more stuff on Patreon, give a lot more time to you guys at the same times, and the Patreon people. Thanks again for everyone who's subscribed on Patreon. That means you, one person, you get all my thanks. And possibly something bonus this month, seeing that Christmas is happening and the New Year's is happening. Okay, so I'm gonna get back to that drawing project, or to that commission. Whoever watches Ippo kind of knows who this character is, and this is part of the commission. So back to that, I will put the thumbnail image on Instagram and the ROM HQ Facebook page, and I am not too sure if I'm going to be able to record the drawing process. If I do my things well with the portable hard drive, then boom, it'll be there. And yeah, that's about it. So thanks again, guys, for your patience. As you know, I go through a lot of cycles, but at least I come out learning. And if you guys manage to learn things from my trial and error type of period when it comes to art, then I'm glad. I'm quite glad. I wouldn't want anyone else to be as confused as I am right now, because it's difficult. It's very difficult. But hey, trial by fire, right? Ride that fire. Guilty Gear, Exard, people. Also, special thanks to Power Painter on YouTube. Great tutorials, great analysis, and he helped ring a couple of this knowledge into my head. So I'll see if I can drop a link in the description. Great stuff. Please subscribe to his channel, Mr. Taylor Payton. Kicks some ass. And if I get more budget, I will subscribe to more of his courses. Doubling down on the thanks to Cycria doing some epic work, epic, journey as an artist. Same goes for you, Proco Studio, Stan Prokopenko. Great live streams to work on shading that he did recently, and a couple of other art tips. Now, Street Skates, thank you for the gift through Steam. I will try to get down and fight you on some Skullgirls. I need to get back into that, but you also seem to have Guilty Gear Xrd, so I could get my ass kicked on Xrd as well. Dog080, keep on the great work. I know times are hard with the recording device that messed up and a couple of other things, but you are going to come back and kick some asses. Bear Hugger 59. I was about to say 89. I hope I'm not messing up the number. Hey, kick-ass work. Continue on some more, but next time I'll stalk you into some more Call of Duty like I did last stream you did. Who else? Hey, everyone who added a comment, you guys, thumbs up. You guys get a thumbs up. I wanted to do some more interaction, but every time I say that, something comes in the field, and I kind of need to manage my shit better to get more discussions going. So, you guys, thanks again, everyone who added a comment and supported this channel. Okay, end of 2015 is coming, so at the same time, gotta say, guys, Merry Christmas, happy celebrations of holiday, maybe a Happy New Year at the same time, just in case I might not just say it. For all of you artists out there, do not discourage yourself. Train. Figure out who you are, figure out what you want to do, and then try to train towards that. I have this book, Old book, and I'm going back through it. Art of Animation by Don Bluth, and I have his second book, the one for storyboarding. Very intuitive tips, man. You gotta read a book, but this is the kind of stuff that you'll pick up at first, and then you'll look at it a couple of years later, and you'll just it'll open. Your head's gonna open towards the knowledge that's in there. Maybe because of experience, or you've faced something else in your life, and now you know a bit more about that environment. So, kind of like what happened with Taylor Payton, Power Painter. A lot of the things that he spoke about, I didn't necessarily get back then. I took notes, of course, but now they just ring a bit better, and I can kind of understand a bit better on my current situation. So, always go back to it. Read your books, man. Read all your motherfucking books. So that's about it, man. I'm just gonna be rambling for another 30 minutes if I continue this. And I was supposed to put this under 20 minutes. Look at this shit. At least it's not gonna be 24 minutes, all right? Or 30 minutes. I think the previous one was 30 minutes. So still got to work on that, but less rambling, a bit more focused plot. Also want to talk a bit more about the whole SJW thing, but it's a couple of things I picked up during meditation. So it's a discussion I kind of want to start, and I'll bring it up to the table as the next video. All right. So thanks again for the support. I will see you guys soon. Kick some asses. All right.